I love New York. We hear it all the time, but have you ever wondered why we love New York so much? In these next few video essays, I'll be analyzing the films of New York and talking about the communities and relationships that are shown in these films and how they're unique. So, what is the role of NYC in normative urban films? How might we reframe that urban connection? The two films I'm going to discuss with you today are the 1960 film The Apartment and the current HBO show High Maintenance. The reason why these films show us NYC connectivity so well is because of something called the apartment plot. The apartment plot is any narrative in which the apartment figures as a central device. It's more than a setting. It motivates or shapes the narrative in some way, and the apartment blurs the lines between the public and private. It creates certain sets of relationships and is responsible for formal and thematic elements. And it conveys a lot of ideologies about urbanism. In the 1960 film The Apartment, our main character, Cece, or Buddy Baxter, is basically a man who keeps renting out his apartment to his superiors at work when they need a place to go. This is a great example of why New York films provide us with unique relationships, because Buddy's neighbors are constantly checking in on him, because lots of different people are coming in and out of the house, such as the landlady, Mrs. Kubelik, and the doctor down the hall, Dr. Dreyfus. Buddy would never have developed these relationships with his neighbors if it wasn't for New York and the central element of the apartment. High Maintenance does the same thing, except in our modern New York landscape. High Maintenance is about a weed dealer. His name is The Guy, and he takes us into every different part of every different borough in New York. We see all of his customers and all of their stories really intimately. This is another great example of the way New York films provide us with unique relationships, because The Guy brings us into people's lives and shows us relationships that could never exist outside of New York, such as a lesbian Asian couple figuring out BDSM, or an exotic dancer helping an Orthodox Jew during medical emergencies. And communities like a Muslim family and their struggles in a secular city, or a church founded by a Black woman whose attendees are all members of the LGBTQ community. Whether it's an apartment building in the Upper West Side in the 60s, or an occurrence that happened the other day on a street in Brooklyn, it's no doubt that the apartment plot has always assisted filmmakers in telling their stories about New York and the strange collection of inhabitants.